welcome to another episode of Real BMX Racing The Podcast. Today's show is sponsored by 110% Nutrition, BMX Connect, Answer BMX, Extreme Squared, Eddie's Blocks, with a special shout out to Toby Henderson over at Send It. Today's guest is BMX Shop owner Chad Powers of Powers BMX Shop. Chad, welcome to the show.
When it comes to BMX, where did it actually start? Like, where did you get your foot into BMX and why BMX?
Well, I guess I didn't even realize what BMX was. I was, as a kid, normal kid stuff, jumping over my sister with a board and some bricks, and then me and my dad just started going to police auctions and just buying bikes, and I was just like taking them apart and putting them back together. I was probably like 10, 11, 12 years old. And then I got a GT Pro Series from that police auction once. And I was like, man, this bike's nice. I kept it. And I was just riding it at my middle school. And there was just a big dirt bank. And I was just like flying out of it, just to flat. And then at my house, I was building kind of the same thing, just a pile of dirt. And I was just jumping over the hole that was behind it, and I never knew what BMX was until one of the kids at my school was like, yo, you ride BMX? And I was like, I don't know what that is. But he was like, no, like, this is what you're doing. And then that weekend I went to a race with him. Nice. And then I was just like, oh, my God. And then the next weekend I talked my mom into taking me, and I started racing.
Nice.
So, I had zero clue what the BMX was, met this dude, and then started racing within like 2 weeks.
So, with that, did you come out the gate winning?
Oh, of course. Yeah, by miles. No.
I'm like, what?
No, it took me months and months before I even got a trophy, because they would only give you top 3 trophies. And, yeah, it took me months before I ever even got a trophy.
And so what track was this where you started?
Budds Creek, Maryland. It was inside the motocross track. And it was probably, I guess it would have been probably 97.
I'm pretty sure I've seen somebody just post a picture of that not so long ago.
Eric Spears always posts a lot of photos.
That's who it is.
And I know that at my mom's house too, in one of her photo albums, I got photos of me racing with them in a cruiser class. But I mean, they were older than me, but they would always combine us. So I know we got some old photos together too.
That's cool, man.
So how high up did you get? Did you make it all the way to expert?
Yeah. And then I was racing the Christmas Classic, and I broke my hand, and I was like, I'm going pro, I'm going pro, blah, blah, blah. And then I just shattered my hand and was out for a long time, and then just never mentally recovered.
So you were really good then?
I mean,
to even consider pro, bro, like, you got to be really good. I don't know what you're thinking, but yeah,
I mean, I've always thought I can go pro.
Yeah, I mean, you could just sign up and get a pro card. It don't matter.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, the best year I ever had, I finished in the NBL top 4, the national number 4 in my class. I think it was cruiser, and then I got 14 and 20. Okay. So, I mean, I would like to, I don't know. I don't think I was good, but some people say I was.
As you get older, do you ever look back and think maybe like you might want to come back and just run a little bit with us?
I probably raced up until, I don't know, 7 years ago. Just at local stuff and having fun. And then, kind of as soon as I moved to Richmond, the shop started taking off even more. So I would get so beat up. I would beat up myself so hard for not being as fast as I once was.
Right.
And it kind of just didn't make it as fun. But I do, like, every time I was at a national or a track, like, for the most part, I always took my bike. I always rode afterwards. Like, we'll go down to the track here in Richmond, and we'll take laps and laps, and then ride the dirt jumps and ride the pump track, and then take more laps of the track. And So I still love riding the track.
But it sounds like you're still pretty competitive then.
I wouldn't even say competitive.
No, I mean like mentally, because I mean I just feel like, you know, if you don't want to race because you don't feel like you're gonna win, that's where it's at, you know, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I still think about every beginning of every season. I'm like, I'm gonna race the season, and then I'm like, I'm gonna turn down the inner, and I'm like, I can't get smoked by inners. The dude's an inner train. Like, I don't want to train.
Right? I'm like, what's that all about?
None of us here want to train.
No. Yeah, dude. Like back in my day, like I would just ride the jumps. I would ride my bike to the jumps and then ride and then, you know, go to the track and do gates. And then like, that was my training up until like I got to like the faster experts. And then, you know, I got Joe Clark and Lance McGuire. We were training. Joe Clark was training both of us and we were in the same class. And and then I had a little training program for that last year before I broke my hand really bad. And I don't know. It was too much like a job to win $15 worth of Saver stamps.
So I was the same way. I just rode my bike so much and played soccer. I was just so active. I would just go to the track and do good. I don't remember there even being a practice day. I know for a fact my mother never drove me to a practice.
Yeah.
To a race and that was it. Ride a few laps, race, go home.
Yep.
Yeah.
So do you remember having a practice at the track that you raced?
Yeah, we would always have Wednesday night gate practices at my home track was Nova BMX. Okay. And we would have big gate practices on Wednesdays. And like Lance McGuire would come down, Mike McGonigal, Warren McDowell would be there. And then like our home track, like we had some killer riders at our home track. So it was just more of a bragging rights to win practice.
So wait a minute, you said Nova was the track where you would go to?
Yep.
So can you ride that wall?
Yeah, I've done it.
We saw one guy doing it in a race one time. We were all looking at each other like, what the heck was that?
Yeah, Louis did that. Louis did it during one of the motos during the national. But yeah, a lot of dudes have done it.
In races?
No, just for fun though.
I was gonna ask you if anybody's ever gained a position by riding up on the wall and coming around.
I don't think so.
I know, right?
When Louis did it in the race, he was already out in front, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that was sick. That was like the highlight of that whole national weekend, you know.
Right, dude. That photo and videos got so much play.
Like we saw the one like a couple weeks ago. We saw the national where the two guys did the backflips at the finish line.
That was him. That was Kaminsky.
I think that was Louis. Yeah,
it was. Because every time I hear his name or I know he's coming up, I watch his race, bro. He's super exciting to watch.
I think if I was there, it'd be one of those moments where you're just like, man, that is so sick and offensive at the same time. You got enough speed to do the backflip, and I still can't
right, and I can't even catch you.
Yeah, that is pretty bad, you know. So, have you ever been into freestyle? Were you ever a park rider?
I would ride concrete skate parks, and we had a local skate park called Vans, a big Vans indoor skate park that I would go and ride a lot. But I was more into racing and trails. Like I do love riding dirt jumps.
And what about like skateboarding? Did you ever get into skateboarding at all?
Dude, I can't even stand on a skateboard and ride across this flat ground.
Do people come into the shop with skateboards and ride the ramps in the back?
There's been a few dudes here that try to skate the ramps, but the bottoms aren't super smooth because they're built for riding.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and my dog hates pedals. Pedals hates skateboards.
Pedals, nice.
Yeah, dude, she's pedals.
Shut. Oh, all right.
I was looking down.
I know, me too. So, do you ever go live, like with these events? You said like the rave that you had the other night, or do you ever have anything videotaped and released on YouTube? Or
no, not really. There's like an Instagram that we have. It's called Bike Shop Shows, and that's kind of more for myself to keep track of the events we have in the back room. But no, I've never really gone live or done anything like that. Like we do a lot of punk shows, a lot of hardcore shows. we have a hip hop show coming up the end of next month. And then a local party crew does raves through the summertime, which is pretty crazy. Like they bring in these giant speakers, they tape up the wall with all this black light tape, and they just party till like 3 a.m.
Do they have? I can picture glow sticks,
dude. It's they bring fire spinners. There's fire performers out here.
Oh, damn.
And they have like their own insurance. They have security. Like they like do it up right. And as long as everybody's safe and having fun, like that's all I care about.
Do people ride the bikes during the show?
There has been like JoJo has done a couple laps during punk shows.
Nice.
Yeah.
There was a club I used to go to when I was a kid, and they had a half pipe in there.
Oh,
so
sick.
It was like so it was like a real like a club, and then they had like a little skating area on the side, like just a little circle. Then they had a half pipe where guys used to go in there with bikes and then skateboards, roller skates. Sick. Oh yeah.
So when it came to starting your business with the shop, what made you decide to get into that?
I worked at shops. My first job was at a bike shop in Northern Virginia. And my mom was driving me there and dropping me off. I was like, almost 16. And then basically once I got injured, I just kind of saved up a little bit of money and started my own thing. I knew a couple of my sales reps from the first bike shop I worked at, and got in touch with them. And my first account was with S&M Bikes. And then this other distro called Last Call, and I saved up $1,200 and I bought inventory, and then my parents bought me a little 6x12 trailer, and I just put that stuff in the trailer and started going to the track. But yeah, I guess I don't really know anything else besides bikes and BMX, so I kind of feel like I didn't have another choice.
So you could work on any type of bike, any type of BMX bike?
Yeah. And we don't, at the shop now, we don't, if you have gears or suspension, like we tell you to go somewhere else politely. Right. But like, yeah, when I started out the shop, I was literally going to people's houses and fixing any bike that they would call me to fix, right. Just to be able to make it to the next race.
Okay. Have you found like it pretty, so repairing these bikes, would you say there's a huge difference between working on a carbon frame bike with all the carbon parts versus the aluminum or steel or whichever one that you're doing?
I mean, if you know what you're doing, not really. Like it's all a BMX bike is pretty simple. Like the new Visions are a little bit more tricky. And then now everybody's putting hydraulic disc brakes on stuff, and there's so many different kind of hydraulic disc brakes, and you need different, the bleeder kit for each different one. Right. So that part's kind of annoying, but like it's not super difficult. Trying to build wheels right. Like there's a lot of people out there that have zero clue what they're doing. Right. Yet they call themselves professionals, and we fix a lot of those. Right. I mean, that's, if you have all the right tools, I mean, we've been doing it long enough to where it comes, it's second nature to us. Right. But yeah, when a new rig comes out, like the new 29-inch Booze Cruises, like they're all 135 millimeter spacing. So like, it's the same stuff, but you just got to make sure to get the right spacing stuff for that back wheel. Like it's not super difficult, I don't think.
Okay.
It's pretty easy to mess something up if you don't know what you're doing too. Yeah.
When you work, I mean, he mentioned something about carbon bikes and some of the newer style stuff. Do you use a torque wrench?
I do have the small one for like the small Newton meters. But other than that, the Newton meters, I don't.
I mean, you pretty much just know by feel like what's what, right?
I would like to hope I do.
I mean, because I came back into. I used to work on bikes. I mean, we were young and we would like get up. I would stand on a freaking adjustable wrench to try to get something tight. You know? But now it's like everything has to be torqued to like a certain spec, and I'm like, really, bro? So. Yep. Yeah, I got me a torque wrench and I used it like 2 times. Maybe I'm like, F this, bro. Like, and I went right back to not like cranking it down like I used to, but I kind of know where it should be at now,
Yeah, we use like the Newton meter ones for like the carbon bars and stuff because with certain stems you can crush the carbon bar super easily. But yeah, other than that, like it's pretty common sense, I guess, for us.
Okay.
Oh, so quick question: when you're working on a bike, where should the clamp from the bike stand be?
Always on the C post.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every time I see it somewhere else, bro, I cringe, and so does he. I'm like, I don't know. It's just a thing.
Yeah, I see some of the other vendors at races clamping carbon frames in the stands all the time, and
mine was clamped at a shop. I'm not gonna mention the name of it, but I just sat there looking at him like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
Yep. Yeah, carbon's not made to take the pressure like this, and you'll crush it super easily.
Yeah. So I was just looking at it like, dude.
Right.
And do you use a lot of grease when you put together a bike?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we don't cake it on by the handfuls, but yeah. I did have a customer ask me not to use grease because it makes their bike heavier, and I told him I wasn't going to work on their bike.
Yo, are you serious, bro?
I mean, I'm like, really, the grease? He just doesn't want.
Yep.
Right.
So I was joking with a guy one day, and I said, "Bro, yeah, I'm not going to get my frame painted, because that's going to be extra weight." And he was like, "Yeah, I did the same thing. I stripped all my bikes down, the powder coat, and I was like, I was just joking, bro. Like, and he was dead serious with the grease. Are you serious?"
Should have told him you didn't even wear socks.
Right. Yeah. Most of the time I just tell customers, like, if you're really worried about that, just take a leak before you race. Like
some I do say it, just anything, bro. Just don't
cut the tops off your socks.
Right. Really okay. So I got a question because you'd be the perfect person to ask. So you know how the new frames are more stretched out like limos versus the ones that we used to race with back in the days, which is, I guess those are considered the park bikes or
the geometry is kind of
the geometry. Yeah. The geometry.
Now
right?
the geometry is
So could I race on one of those? Like, could I go get, I guess a trick bike and race with that and still have the same performance that I would?
Yes.
Frames?
Yes. Well, whenever a customer comes in and they're like, I might want to try racing, but I'm not sure, I always tell them to get a park bike because they can try racing on it. It won't be the most competitive, but when you're just starting out, it doesn't really matter. And then if you don't like racing, you're not stuck with the race bike.
Smart.
So, and then if you do like racing and you get into it more, then you buy a race bike, and then you also have your race bike and your beat around the neighborhood bike.
Right. Because the first thing I noticed when I came back was I tried to go do like a wheelie and I couldn't get the front end up. I was just like,
on the new
everyone's like, are you scared? And I'm like, no, that's not it. I'm like, I literally can't pull it up because if I just yank real hard, I know I'll go flying back, but I can't even get to that middle ground to.
I can't ride new race bikes. Like I still ride a 125R. Like I think they're some of the best bikes out there. Standard makes some of the best bikes out there, and like I don't know. I get on some other race bikes and I'm like, this hurts my hands. Like, I can't even pick up the front wheel. Like, what are you doing? Like, and then the flat bars, I can't do it. Yeah. I don't know if I'm starting to get old and crabby, but like.
I was telling Shannon too, like, if they ever came back out with the power light bars, how they have that.
Oh, the power bands, yeah.
I'm like, if they ever come back out with those, bro, I'm like, it's not even a question. I'm gonna jump on them. Like, let me get 2-3 pairs just because. Like those were like the perfect like grip, like everything was just perfect for me on that bike.
Yeah.
But, so your first bike, is that in your Hall of Fame? Is that in your?
Yeah, it's in the museum. I have it in the museum.
In your museum,
really?
Yeah. In your museum. Yeah, I was gonna say that was our next question because a lot of times their first bike is the one that got away from them, their first one that meant something.
Oh, he's gonna show us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, come with me. Yes, we got like.
So are you closed at this time?
Yeah, right there.
Nice. Oh yeah.
Yep.
And is that your plate too that you used to race with?
No, I don't know why that plate's even on there. I guess because it's just old cool UGP ones. And then this bike was the first bike my mom bought me brand new.
What?
Yep. And then this is my cruiser and my 20.
Jeez.
If somebody were to come in your shop and be like, I gotta have that bike, would you sell it?
Oh yeah, everything here is for sale. Like, well, I wouldn't say for sale. Everything has its price.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's no prices on it.
Right.
Exactly. But there's a reason why I still have the whole museum bike, every single bike here. So
nice.
Yeah. And then
all those.
Like talking about long carbon race bikes, like Nick Long's Olympic bike. This bike, I don't know how he went fast on this thing.
All of a sudden, you got his Olympic bike?
Oops. Yeah, from the Rio Games.
I was gonna say yeah, because when we interviewed him, he was just like, "Yeah, I don't keep anything." He's like, "I got rid of my Olympic bike," and I was like, "I wonder who got that bike." Now we know.
Yeah, at least it's here. Yep.
Nice.
And then we have up there. This is is Ariel Vorhagen. That was the bike she qualified on the very first Olympics for.
Wow.
And
your museum is dope.
And then that's a Matt Hoffman Toxic Avenger painting.
Okay.
But up on the top there is that one's really sick. It's Steve Veltman's Next.
Stop it, bro.
He rode for Next for a little while, and that's his Magna jersey, and then his Next jersey.
Wow.
Are those things like bolted in the wall and chained or something, like from the other side? Like,
oh yeah, we got.
I would be so scared somebody would come in there and freak.
We got bars.
Yeah, there you go.
We got bars on the windows.
I told you I used to live in Richmond, so yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome, man. Do people come to your shop just to look at the museum? And
yeah, it's one of the coolest feelings when people go out of their way to drive here to see the museum. Like Pedals will just walk around on the counter like she owns it.
That's funny.
We had a few months ago, we had a couple, the girl set it all up or whatever, but they spent their anniversary weekend in Richmond around coming to the museum.
Wow.
And I was like, man, and they were from Knoxville, Tennessee. So they drove like 8 hours for this.
That's awesome.
We've had like people that have flown in from different countries that have like made it a point to like stop here on their trip. Like whenever any pro riders around, they always come through. Like we had the whole Odyssey team here not too long ago. Like, yeah, and I guess like Nick will come through whenever he's here and we'll pump the tires up on his bike. So
nice.
Could you even have imagined that it would get this big? I mean, you was just opening up a bike shop to sell some parts, right?
Dude, like, yeah, if I was 20 years old and you told me that this, like, I would be able to give my friends jobs and like sponsor a race team and like have the whole museum, I would have been nah.
So that's my next topic is the race team. Who's in charge of the race team? Like who manages
Bert Orstron's in charge of the factory race team.
Okay.
And then we also have the bike shop team, which is John Wiggins is in charge of it.
Okay.
Wasn't Jeremy on the team?
Jeremy Thompson?
Yeah.
Yeah. Once he comes back, I haven't talked to him in a minute, but he's been trying to get back to riding. When he blew up his ankle, it really hurts him to get a gate start. But once he gets going, like he's the same old Jeremy. But he can't really push out of the gate right now.
Oh wow.
But yeah, funny story about Jeremy. I met him when he first came back to racing, and I was working on his bike, and he had profile cranks, and they were like this, like so crooked. And I'm like, hey, like, do you know this? Like, is there a reason? He's like, oh no, I just ride it. He's like, I never look at my bike. And I'm like, how long has it been like this? He's like, oh, we put this together like 8 months ago. I'm like, dude, you've been riding with your cranks like way crooked for 8 months. Yeah, 0 cares.
Wow.
But yeah, I hope he gets back to racing this year.
He rides at the track that we go to.
Nice.
In Burlington.
Yeah, and his son races and is doing really good too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Raiden.
Yeah. I do have Burlington state race on my schedule this year.
Oh, cool.
I guess it's a state race in Gold Cup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll be down there vending for that.
Oh, good.
Awesome.
So we'll see you then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how do you select members for your team? Do you play any part of that, or is that just all on the managers?
I do somewhat, but it's pretty much on them. I mean, it's kind of like a Tinder date. Like, you don't just take them home to dinner. They kind of got to like grow into the family.
Right.
So it's not buy your jersey, you're on the team. It doesn't matter who you are. Like we don't charge people for their jerseys. The factory team is I don't want to say fully funded, but it's pretty funded.
Okay.
And yeah, it's more of just a big family than, come buy my jersey and get a frame, or, buy a frame, you get a free jersey and you're on the team,
Right.
So it's a big family. But yeah, I don't really play too much of a part of who's on it and who's not, but
Right.
yeah, I will be like, yo, John, like this kid, like they're spending a lot of money with us. They seem like a great family. They've asked to be on the team, and I'll mention it to them. And then if it doesn't mesh, then it doesn't mesh. Like,
Right.
that's it. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Shannon, you got any? I didn't want to overstep it.
Oh yeah. So I want to ask you. I want to ask you about bikes now. And you might have answered one of my questions, but what is your favorite frame? Is it the standard?
Right now, yeah, I ride the standard 125R, and then I just built a new standard Trail Boss that we just dropped a bike check on our YouTube channel, like, I don't know, maybe a month ago.
Okay.
And I did it with disc brakes. It's got carbon rims. It's like a 21-pound trail bike.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Nice.
and my old trail bike was like, I built it in 2015. So I'm like, dude, like, I own Powers. I should have a nice bike, and I finally did it.
Right.
But other than that, like, I loved my Bully Speed Freak when I was younger, and yeah, until I then I raced a S&M 38 Special.
Those are nice.
For a little while. That bike was
Mm-hmm.
sick. But yeah, once I got on a standard 125R, like, I never looked back.
And what about hubs?
I'm definitely a
hub.
profile guy.
Okay.
They, just for what they do for the sport, how their business is run, down to the product they make, like, it's all awesome.
Okay.
So if I ask you
got a
about
big-
crank, oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
So would you say profile cranks for cranks?
Yeah. They've been making the same crank for 50 years. Like, what's wrong with it? You don't, like, it's been great. There's no reason to change it.
Them, yeah.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, kind of thing.
So would you ever talk somebody? I mean, there's a lot of people that get into racing later on. They're adults now. They have a kid. They want to start racing. They have a little bit of bank to spend now.
Yeah.
So they want to maybe go get a Redline or a Mongoose, something they're probably more familiar with. As far as brand names. then eventually, you know, they're looking around, they see all these cool little bikes, and then they want to get like a super nice bike. Have you ever talked somebody out of spending money on a bike or spending money on parts, especially for their kids, and tell them maybe you should get some training for your kid and not buy these bars or these cranks or these forks?
Yeah, I try to all the time. I tell a lot of people that I'm the worst sales guy because I would just be like, dude, that like you're wasting your money. And they're like, I'll take 6 of them. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I try to be as upfront and honest and like give people my professional opinion as best as I can, rather than just being like, you need this because it's the most expensive.
That's good. What's the furthest you've ever shipped?
Oh, we ship all over the world.
Wow.
I mean, like Singapore, Taiwan, Chile. We ship a lot of stuff to Great Britain and Canada. Yeah, we have one of my best customers is in Hawaii. So yeah, it's pretty crazy that growing from the little trailer into shipping worldwide.
If you weren't doing the whole BMX scene, where do you think your life would have taken you?
Oh man. I mean, before finding BMX, I played baseball. So who knows? I would have probably been super rich pro baseball player. Yeah, right. Yeah, I would. I mean, honestly, I have no clue. Like maybe in some punk bands, like I don't know. Yeah, zero clue what I would be doing.
Wait, so can you play instruments now? What instruments can you play?
No, that's why I'd have to be a punk band because I'd be so bad at it. Dude, and I mean, the only thing I wouldn't even say rather be doing, but the other thing I really love doing is like building tracks and building dirt jumps and pump tracks and stuff. So like I would take off a week of work to go do that for somebody.
Nice.
So who opens your store in the morning?
Whoever gets here first. Yeah, it's so there's me. I don't know if you are on our Instagram much, but the dude Danny with the big white beard. He raced all through the 80s and then just got back into riding BMX like 4 years ago. Okay. And then he quit his job and now he works here. Like it's pretty. Like
wow,
he swan dived straight into BMX again, and then Curtis, the younger kid, he's been with us for I guess 4 years now.
Okay.
None of us really have a schedule, but yeah, usually I'm here in the mornings, and then we'll try and cut out a little early and go to the jumps.
Do you still get as excited like waking up in the morning and heading to your shop as you used to probably when you first started?
Yeah, I'm here at 8 o'clock at night. Yeah. I mean,
that's and cool.
I mean, if I wasn't on here with you guys, I probably still would have been here. You know, if I'm like, yo, I'm taking tomorrow off, like I'll still probably come up to the shop and just hang out. Like I'd rather be here doing nothing than sitting at home doing nothing.
Right. I see the bad thing about me is if I was in your like if we roles were reversed and I was at the shop, I'd probably be broke because everything that came in that looks sick, I'd be like, I gotta buy it, I gotta build it.
Yeah. Dude, I learned that a long time ago not to do that.
Right, like you say, like drug dealers, you don't taste your own product, right?
Yep. And lucky enough, Danny and Curtis are kind of the same way. Like we all have our bikes, like we like them. Like the new cool things are sick, but like we like the way our bikes are.
No doubt.
Like,
that's kind of where I'm at. Go ahead.
I was gonna say here. This is Curtis is like he's our wheel builder, and his wheels just crashed, and he just rides it like he doesn't care.
Nice. I mean, I guess you just gotta go what feels right, I guess.
Yeah.
I think everybody has their phase when they come back, as far as like, I got to get carbon hoops, got to get carbon forks, and little by little, eventually, I see a lot of the older guys going back to the S&Ms, the standards, and going back to some of the steel and aluminum stuff opposed to the carbon. It just feels better for them.
Yeah, I know. I put carbon rims on my trail bike, and it is a way different feel. I'm not sure if I quite like it yet or not.
So what made you decide carbon on wheels?
I don't know. I own Powers, and I
just to try it, right?
Yeah. And like I said, I haven't had a new bike in 10 years, so I was like, might as well just keep going all out.
There you go.
Yeah.
So how did the name?
What's that?
Who decided on the name for the shop?
I guess when I was talking to my parents, I was 20, about doing this. My mom wanted me to call it Bikes on Wheels because it was going to be, out of the trailer, going to people's houses and stuff. But which would have been cool. And I almost kind of regret having my last name in it. Just because everything is, hey Chad, what time do you close? Chad this. Like, I feel like I could have maybe separated myself a little bit more if it wasn't Powers. But in the beginning, basically, I guess because I wanted to use my last name because of how many friends I already knew and how many people knew me already. And I figured it would just stick a little easier, I guess. And then when we moved to Richmond, we kind of just changed it from Powers Bike Shop to Powers BMX, because we weren't doing anything but BMX.
Which is rare nowadays. I mean, do you know how many other shops in America just do BMX?
Right.
I mean,
7.
It can't be that.
Really? Wow,
I figured he'd probably know. Yeah,
right. Gotta know who's competition.
7, bro. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, and then there's probably 20 other shops that cater to BMX, but also do other bikes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the whole United States, there's only 7 BMX shops.
That's a 100% BMX only.
Yeah,
wow.
That's insane, man.
Yeah. Yeah, like
wow.
not bad mouthing Albies. Like Albies is a sick shop, and but they do all bikes in their store. Like I'm pretty sure J&R in Florida did road bikes and stuff at one point in their store. I don't even think they have a showroom open anymore.
Wow.
But yeah, and Dan's Comp, like they had a normal bike shop, like before they filed bankruptcy and whatnot. But yeah, now they're owned by an RC car company, and I wouldn't even consider them BMX at all. Wow. They're just a big corporate money grabbers.
Yeah,
I
can see that. So when it's all said and done, is this like a business that you're going to pass down to someone? Are you planning on selling it and moving to Florida and just living out your days?
I mean, if somebody walked in here with a nice big check, I will walk away from it right now. But that's not something I want to do. Right. But like I said earlier, like everything has a price. Like I'll take my dog and we'll walk home. Like here's the keys.
Right.
Would
you take that money, move and start a small shop somewhere else?
Man, if I don't know, I'd just fall off the face of the earth and just live in some woods with my own jumps.
Oh, that's
and like only my 3 friends will find me.
So it sounds like you're in your shop a lot.
Yeah.
What is your go-to food?
Man, we got 2 sketchy places right near us. Across the street is a gas station barbecue, and it's good. And then in the shopping center next to us is a old Chinese food place called Hong Kong. And when you walk into the old Chinese food places, they got like the sign, like the photos of the food, like they're so faded you can hardly tell what they are.
Oh, geez.
So it's good.
And Chinese restaurants do not go out of business.
And I got it today.
There you go. That's one place. Once they open, that's it. They're around forever, bro.
Yeah.
I was gonna say go ahead.
I was gonna say you're on Williamsburg Road, right?
Yep.
That's what I thought. All right. Is that flea market still down the street from you guys, or no?
Yeah. You can almost see it when you step out our front door.
That's what I thought, because I looked on the map and I was like, "You're right there."
If you remember, the building was an old Southern States.
Okay.
Which is like a country feed store, like hardware store or whatever. And then they had like a big weird greenhouse out back that I had to tear down, and like an in-ground watering system that I had to pull out the ground. And then where we're at right now in the shop was like 10 tiny little rooms. I guess they had like little tiny offices in here. So we had to smash all this out, build my office right here, and then the shop area, and then the bathrooms on the other side of the office. So,
Wow.
And then we built the wall that splits the shop and the museum, and that's about it. Like the big renovation stuff that we did when we moved in.
I mean, so how was the surrounding area? I know how it used to be before I left, but
I mean, it's definitely getting gentrified. The crime rate in Richmond, still sucks. But I mean, we've made friends with a lot of the OGs that are in the neighborhood still. Like a lot of the OGs that ride their like clunker bikes up and down the street. Like they'll come in, like we'll pump the tires up, we'll help them if we can. Like there's this dude that hangs out at the gas station all the time. He's called Uncle Fred, and he's always coming over here. I give him money to like cut the little patch of grass up front. Yeah, I mean the neighborhood ain't too bad.
Nice.
At our old shop though, we were in between both of the hoods of Richmond, which was Mosby and Gilpin. And
bro, are you serious?
we were right in the middle. Right in the middle. So like you went up, one side was Mosby, the other side was Gilpin.
Yeah, I know exactly. Why were you there?
It was cheap. It was $1,200 a month. We didn't.
Bro, I know this area well. That's why I'm like really tripping out.
Yeah, and we didn't care. We were back in this little warehouse complex. Nobody cared that we were back there. Like we had the biggest parties. We had some of the biggest jams. We had huge ramps in the parking lot. Yeah, and all the neighbors loved us. Like, and but the hoods basically just used our road as a cut through. Like that was it. We did find a body in the parking lot once. But like, yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure
kind of being a punk. What's that?
I was gonna say, I know you heard gunshots constantly at night.
Oh yeah, I mean our windows up here, we have bullet holes in our windows now.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It didn't faze me. I mean, I didn't grow up in any kind of city or anything. But we would always be going to DC and riding street, like Southeast DC, and I don't know. And we would go to Baltimore. We would come down to Richmond when we were young. Yeah. I feel like I was just telling somebody else this the other day, but like, I feel if you grew up like a punk rock kid, you were like kind of automatically accepted into hoods.
Oh, you're right.
Like, because I don't know, like either they just thought we were just crazy white boys doing whatever and didn't mess with us, or they just like respected us because punk rock kids kind of struggle just like the hoods kind of struggle. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true though. Like in every hood, yeah, no doubt. You'd be way more accepted as some like yuppie kid coming out of college or something, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
What's your top 3 music groups right now?
Oh man. So one of them is called the Hope Conspiracy. And they just announced a 3-day tour next month, and they haven't played. They broke up in 2011, or it might have been 9. But I'm gonna go to all 3 of those shows. One's in Boston, New York City, and Philly.
Very cool, man.
And it's just like old 90s hardcore. And then,
but you know they're gonna do the same show 3 times, right?
Oh, I don't care.
That's just how bands do it. They
yeah.
Go ahead.
And I mean, when they were playing shows in the early 2000s, like I probably seen them 15 times too.
Nice.
But if they didn't announce that reunion, like right now, I've been getting into a lot of old 90s country.
Really?
Yeah, like Alan Jackson, Dwight Yoakam, Vince Gill, Randy Travis. Woo! So much that I even went and got an Alan Jackson tattoo.
Oh,
no way,
my man!
No way!
Yeah.
I gotta see this.
I guess it's backwards, but let's see if I can. And I got it on the back of my kneecap. On the back of my knee.
Oh, geez.
Uh-oh. Did I blow it? Where are we? There we go.
I can see. Well, we can see.
Can you see it?
On the back of the kneecap.
I'll just text you. I'll text you all a photo.
I'm like that's one of the spots that seemed like that would have to hurt really bad.
Yeah, it was not that comfortable, but it's a cheeseburger and a grape snow cone.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you ride, you have you're listening to music when you ride now, right? Put your AirPods in or whatever.
No, not if I'm riding the jumps or anything. Like if I'm at the jumps by myself, I'm usually digging, and I'll listen to music then.
Okay.
Or if I do jump on my big bike to ride, I will put some music in. But if I'm at the pump track or the trails, I won't put headphones in.
Okay. What are you?
I was gonna say, when you come in the shop, do you personally repair bikes?
Yeah, all 3 of us do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do
my hands stay dirty.
Do people request like you work on their bike, or like maybe certain mechanics? Like they might come to Powers like, bro, I want you working on my bike. Nobody.
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. So I might get in trouble for saying this too, but like people will call and be like, "Hey, is Chad there?" And then like Danny will stop what he's doing, come find me, put the dude on hold. I'll stop what I'm doing, and they're like, "Hey, Chad, what time do you close tonight?" And I'm like, "What?" Like, it's probably right next to where you Googled our phone number. And 2, right. Why do you waste my time to ask me that? Like Danny could have answered. Like, we had a dude come in like a couple Fridays ago, and I wasn't here. My brother-in-law passed away, and I was up at my sister's, and he came in and started cussing up a storm to Danny, cussed him out, said he was never coming back here because I wasn't here.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm just like, dude, like, I don't always have to be here. Like, I trust Danny and Curtis enough to be here by themselves. You should trust them too.
Right. Yeah.
And how long before you had that, where you had people that you could just trust and maybe take a vacation for a week and not worry about the shop?
I mean, probably up until I almost hired Curtis, like 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, I had this kid Donnie working for me, and he was great. And yeah, Donnie, and then basically Curtis. Yeah, pretty much. And then before that, if I left, I would just close.
Wow.
So how hard it is to find good people, man, and people that you could trust your baby to, man.
Yeah, that's one downfall of small businesses is letting go of the reins is one big failure to small businesses, and I definitely have a very hard time doing that. Yeah.
I'm 10 years all into like this is pretty cool, and I'm like, man, I wonder if I can open up a bike shop. No, because I at the end of the day, I know I'd be buying stuff that I shouldn't. Be
Yeah,
buying.
well, just bring me that one big check.
Nice. What are your three top hottest items right now that sell as soon as you get them in?
Moeller just made a post about him not getting in 22-inch tires for a long time, and we sold out of all of our 22-inch tires in like the last 3 hours, which is kind of weird. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. We'll post an Instagram story about something like this, and then like in minutes, it's like order. Yeah, so I don't know. It's hard to say what the hottest thing is because, yeah, it just varies every single day so much. But we probably stay 6 to 10 wheel sets behind on wheel builds, like constantly.
Do you do consignment?
No.
Okay.
I try. If we do, I do buy used parts. But I don't want to do consignment because I just don't want to be responsible for somebody else's stuff.
I saw that you actually have used parts on sale online.
We have a whole section of used parts on the website.
Is that inventory live? Like, as in, it is once it's there, it's.
Yep, our whole website is live inventory. So as soon as I put this stem up online and then you buy it, it takes it right off the site so somebody else can.
Oh, okay.
And it updates like, I don't know, every 3 seconds or something like that crazy. So it's nearly impossible for somebody to buy the same thing twice.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That's really cool.
So as long as us humans don't make a mistake, the website's very accurate.
I was gonna say one of the reasons why I decided to rock with you was I talked to you mid-morning and I was like, look, I need this gear and I need this cog and I need that. And then I'm like, I'm gonna go see my guy tomorrow morning and I need to get it here like tomorrow. And you're just like, I got you. Sipped it out. I got it at 9 a.m. Took it to the shop by 11. Guy was installing everything for me. And I was like, done. Got me in the clutch.
Yeah. It's crazy that like people all over the country are like, Powers is shipping the fastest.
Yes.
And
yes. Shannon pointed that out.
What's that?
Shannon pointed that out to me because I was like, dude, where can I go? Because I didn't want to, like, I'm not driving like that. I'm just not doing that. So I'm like, so who can get it to me like ASAP? He just will say, mention you. And I was like, that's right. So I was like, let me talk to him.
because you're right there. If you say you have something, you have it. If you say it's going to get there at a certain time, it gets there. I mean, you just have a good reputation like that. Not everybody does. So,
it's very, very easy when your website and inventory is live to be able to ship stuff same day. And we're very big on trying to treat customers as they walk in our store. You want to be treated. You want to like say what's up. You want to get what you need and get out if you want. And it's the same thing for a website. Like you come to our website, you find what you need, and then we get it out to you as fast as you can. Like we wouldn't want you hanging out in the store for 4 days before we said what's up to you.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the most money one person has came in there and dropped on you?
Oh man. This dude we built 3 wheelie bikes for this dude. Maybe a week and a half ago. And he dropped like $7,000 all together at once. And then, one of my best customers, I don't want to say his name, but he probably spends about $60,000 a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He basically funds his race team by himself, which is cool.
Right.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
That's definitely a team to get on right there. Huh?
So for those that don't know, wheelie bike, is that the one where they're out there dodging traffic while doing wheelies?
Yeah, just the wheelie dudes. Like, the dudes that like swerve cars is, I don't know. Kids are gonna have their own fun. Like,
I see
if
them getting hit
nobody's
more
getting
often now.
what's that?
I see them getting hit a lot more often now on the
Yeah,
internet.
I was just gonna say, if they're not getting hurt, like, let them have fun. But yeah, I mean, I've definitely been seeing more and more kids get smashed because I think their confidence is getting up there and their skills not.
And the drivers just ain't having it no more. They're like, I'm not stepping on my brakes no more. I'm just gonna keep going. Go ahead.
Yeah. So there's a pretty good wheelie scene, bike life scene in Richmond too. And we just call them big BMX bikes because, I mean, that's pretty much what they are. And we try to cater to them as much as possible too.
Do you guys have a ride out? Like for the shop?
We've done an SE ride out from the shop. And there's this, I mean, honestly, in Richmond, you can get on a bike ride every night of the week.
Really?
But there is a big group that does Thursday night bike rides and a big group that does Wednesday night bike rides.
And where do they ride?
So yeah, there's just to the city, like straight down Cary Street and then down Broad Street, and then kind of do a couple of zigzags through like Gray Street and stuff, and then end up at the Overlook in Oregon Hill.
Okay.
And we like it's not our bike ride, but we try to support it as best we can. And sometimes there's 300-400 people out there. Yeah, but it's every bike. Dope. It's all bikes. It's not just wheelie bikes. Right. There's a lot of kids that come out from the BMX track that ride their BMX bikes, and parents with trailers and their kid in it. So it's pretty cool.
That's a great way to promote the sport, whether it be park, street, race, whatever. If I would have seen that, like, as I was in Richmond, being an ex-BMX guy, I would have definitely like pulled one of those guys to the side and be like, yo, what's this all about right here?
Yeah.
Where's the track at? Especially if I would have saw some race bikes,
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is cool, man.
And we got lucky. The racetrack's only like a mile and a half from here too. So like you can literally run up here between motos.
and that track was there, man. I used to have a little spot right on Fairmount, 22nd Street.
Okay.
And, and I never knew. I mean, and the track is not far from there, man. So
yeah. They built. I think Richmond opened up in 2000.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And so did Nova.
Yeah, I was there when they were there. I just never knew the track was even there, bro. I had no idea.
We're definitely gonna check them out.
Dude,
I've never been.
Richmond, we have the pavers on the first turn in the starting hill, like the paver blocks, and they just finished the third turn as well. It's pretty cool looking.
And it's actually really smooth.
It's very smooth, yeah.
Because when I see like pavers and blocks, I'm always thinking like,
yeah. I mean, it might not be smooth for you, but when you go fast, it's smooth.
So he'll never know how smooth it is. Bumpy for you, buddy.
Right?
Yeah. And then the track surface, the track surface is granite dust. So it's like pouring down rain right now. You can go race it if you wanted to. It can take like 8 inches of water in an hour before it messes it up.
Really?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't even slide. You'd just be good to go.
Yep.
So all right. So we talked to somebody that was from the Metro BMX track in California, Bakersfield, and she was saying how the turns are made of gunite, right? That's the term she used, right? Gunite. So we were like, what is that? She's like, well, it's really sticky. So when I watched that race, people, like the motorcycles, they're on their knee, like going on in the turn. That's how they were on that track. I mean, they were cutting it. And so, I asked her, like, when you fall in the track, does it rip you up? And of course it does. But she said, it's just super grippy, man. And I just never even heard of that before. People were like, what is it? Asphalt? Is it concrete? Like, what is it? And sure enough, she said it was gunite. And just wondering if you ever heard of that.
That's crazy. I've never heard of that either. I'm sure you guys too, but we get a fair amount of rain in the spring and the fall. So that's why we did the pavers, because it's not as slick as wet asphalt. And then the granite dust, because it's a lot better track surface than just dirt. And
then I think I was gonna say, I think she said that the guy that runs the track is from Europe, and so he was trying to bring like a European style track to America, you know, and that's why their track. If you look at their track, like their first straight has like 8 obstacles in it. I mean, every straight is just busy.
That's
and so
sick.
she said they tamed it down, right? Made it more mild or something like that. But yeah, it looks like a mini like European track. And so she said that's why they did that, just to get some of these kids trained to ride those straights like that.
That's sick.
You know, usually tracks have maybe 2-3 obstacles every straight. I mean, this thing had a lot going on.
Yeah, like Richmond, the second straight has a lot going on. I think we got 3 big jumps on the first straight, 5 obstacles on the second straight. So like once you get going, there's not that much pedaling.
Oh wow!
But like
that's
Severin, but like Chesapeake BMX, like that track is like all pedaling, and that's what I don't like to hear. Yeah, I'm like 30 feet down the hill, and I'm like, oh my god.
It's still going.
Yeah.
Man, I'm about to tell you, man, I do a pump lap. I'm way more tired than when I do a pedal lap.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'm just putting way more into it to try to win, but it's like, yeah, I finish a pump lap, I'm ready to die, man.
Oh man.
How often do you ride?
I try to ride it. I mean, I would like to say I try to ride every day. But I'd say at least once a week. Yeah.
Nice.
Enough to call myself a BMXer that still owns a BMX shop.
What's been the strangest request you've had when you pulled up to like an actual event with your trailer and everything?
As far as like a customer asking for something?
Right. Like you're like, what? You want me to do what with this bike?
I mean, there's been multiple times where like customers have gotten their bike smashed on the way to a race, and I'm just like, that seems so strange, but like it happens. And like having to build, take apart a smashed bike and try to figure out what's still good. Building a whole new bikes.
Wow.
And that's like one of the saddest things to do, because they're just like, they're on their way to the race. They're super stressed out now. And then the kids got to learn how to ride whatever new bike we could put together for them.
Yeah.
So that's pretty weird. I mean, and then just places where we've had to like set up before has been like right by porta potties. And I'm like, God, like that's going to suck on Saturday afternoon,
In the heat.
In the heat. We almost got struck by lightning in South Park once. Because we set up right behind or underneath a tree, and the tree got struck by lightning. And then they finally canceled the race.
After the lightning hit the tree.
Yeah, after the lightning. Yeah. I've been stuck a good amount of times and just had to get, tractors or whatever to pull me out. But yeah, I mean, not too much like super odd things requested from customers.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know how long it does take to build a wheel set, or people will be like, hey, can you just put these hubs in my bike real quick? And I'm like, oh no, it takes more than just like throwing these hubs in. So that's always kind of funny. But yeah, nothing too crazy.
Okay.
Are there ever a day? I know I asked you, are you excited to go to work every day? But I mean, are there ever days where you're just like, man, I do not want to go to this shop today, man?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely days like that, or days where I'm just like, I'm going home, I'm taking off work tomorrow, like my phone's off, like I don't want to talk to nobody.
Right.
That might happen once a month, and usually I just go out to the Shenandoah Mountains. Or George Washington Forest, and just go for a nice long hike all day in the middle of the woods by myself.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and Pedals loves running through the woods, and like when she gets stoked, it like brings everything back out. I'm like, dude, life's so simple. Like, why am I letting whatever stress me out right now. Like they're just BMX bikes.
Right.
But that's good that you could get away for a little while and know that
Yeah.
you need to get away and do it. You know, some people
Yeah.
know they need to get away, but they just don't.
Can't.
You know?
Yeah, they can't.
Or can't, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
or I
I
go
mean,
down to the jumps and put my headphones in and dig.
Okay. Do you wear the half helmet or the full helmet when you're jumping in the?
Oh
the
yeah,
ones
I wear the Fuse like certified half shell helmet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've always wondered why people would want to wear those because it seems like you hit your face. Like I watched a lot of videos where they always like your top of your head is good, but the whole front of your face is just dragged on the ground.
Oh yeah, and you scorpion. It's definitely
Yeah.
good. I've definitely hit my face and hit my neck and all kinds of stuff. But at the jumps, like they're lighter. Like you can see better through them.
Yeah, true.
But when I do wear my half shell at the racetrack, like I feel real weird. So, which I don't understand. Like I can ride dirt jumps all day long with a half shell, but as soon as I take a lap around the track with a half shell, like I just feel weird.
And what about gloves? Do you wear gloves?
Nah, I don't even think I wore gloves when I raced either.
Most park guys don't. You know. And where do you grab? Do you grab your bars on the outside or the inside?
I grab on the outside.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's the racer in me.
It must be because a lot of guys I see that ride park, they ride with their
All the way
hands
in. Yep.
So I mean, Tom Missile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he rides like that too.
I saw him at the track one day. I said, "Bro, how do you ride like that, man?" He said, "Bro, it's from the park stuff." And I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me, man!" He kills me with that. I mean, his hands are like together, bro.
Yeah, I know. I was watching the race from Lexington with him, and I'm like, dude, your hands are further in than like the little kids. Like
he said he was trying to, but he just can't. You know, just they are where they are, and that's it.
He's such a good dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to have him and Jeremy at our track, you know, because I volunteer at that track, you know, and they're just so awesome, man, to have around, you know, because they're so fast, so skilled, and they're always helping somebody, you know, and everybody looks up to them, and yeah, man.
Yeah. And clearly, with Tom's race in Lexington is a big example of how we don't care if you suck. We care about if you're a good person.
He just hasn't been riding for a while, so you gotta give him a break. But yeah, he's super. The first time I realized how fast he was is I wasn't really paying attention to him because we have a couple of fast guys at the track, you know. Yeah. And somebody was like, "Oh, watch Tom," or something like that. He cleared this triple, came around a turn, and just like I think he blew his back tire. Something blew, and he just kind of slid out. And I was like,
"Yeah,
how fast was this guy going, man?" You know, he fixed the tire and got back on the track, and I started paying attention to him, and I was like, "Holy crap, bro!"
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. I remember Tom, his first venture of racing when he was younger too, and then he quit for a while, and he just, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, I guess, got back into racing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you offer the You remember when we were kids and you'd go to a bike shop and you'd be like, always kids would be like, oh, I want to sponsor. I want to get sponsored. Do you actually have not the team sponsor, but just something for the beginner kid who wants to get in, who wants like a 10, 20% discount just to say like, oh, I'm sponsored by this shop. Is that something that you do or?
No, we just have the bike shop team.
Okay.
And that's, again, the one of the things that you kind of will like grow into. It's not like a come one, come all deal.
Right.
And then, but I don't know, there's a good handful of kids at the Richmond track that we just take care of and don't ask anything from them. Like never even, I don't know. I'd rather have kids riding bikes than, take their last $5 for an inner tube.
That's cool, man. You know, it's crazy because I used to ride this track in New Jersey. And somebody had posted, there's like an 80s BMX site or group, on Facebook. This guy posted the track or like where the track used to be. Yeah. And then a couple of other guys were like posting and saying, oh man, I was one of those kids on the fence, on the outside looking in. I always wanted to race, and then the guys were like, well, you can still race, you're only 40, man. It's like the biggest class coming back and but I just never was that guy on the outside looking in. And it kind of made me feel bad. Like, these guys were probably 10, 11, 12 years old, and that's probably all they wanted to do. They might have had bikes. They lived in the neighborhood, seeing all of us come in, race our bikes with the gear, and they're just on the outside looking in. And I was like, that sucked, man, And so if I have a chance to help somebody, bring them from the outside in, I definitely try to play my part.
Oh yeah. So Richmond, the track, they stopped having the housing right next to it, Section 8 housing. But then a long time ago, when we first moved down here and everything, it still was. And there's always kids from the neighborhood coming over and trying to steal bikes and just, doing hood rat things right. Instead of us like always getting them in trouble, calling the cops on them, like we'd be like, yo, come out here tomorrow. Like, let's ride bikes. Yo, let me show you how to fix this. Like, instead of stealing, like, put your energy into, like, we'll show you how to work on the track. And I don't even like saying, like, Gary Craig had the old track operator. He had the biggest part of doing it, but I definitely helped out as much as I could. But we ended up getting, I don't know, maybe nine of the kids from the neighborhood. We would pay for their entry fees. We paid for their license. We got them all. We built them all bikes. And one of the kids, I mean, they're all still kind of riding bikes. But Jonathan Smith just qualified for Worlds in 15X. And
Nice.
And yeah, so we're gonna try and get him to go down to the Worlds. And
dope.
this was all because we opened our arms, to the kids from the hood instead of being like, yo, get out of here. Yeah. And yeah, now same thing. Now that I moved over here to the East End where the shop is now, like there's a good group of little kids that come through here, and we always take care of their bikes and fix their tires or whatever and send them on their way. But yeah, we'd much rather embrace any kid, on a bike than look at them funny.
Right.
I mean, because some of those kids, man, that bike might be all they have, that track, and you guys as a family. And, like I said, I lived in Richmond. I've seen some of the stuff that goes on down there. And, I mean, I've seen kids that were 13, 14 years old. I mean, legitimately homeless, on the street.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So.
And, yeah, I mean, we don't like brag or, like, do these things and post all about it on the internet. And, like, we would much rather just have a kid be stoked instead of us getting 300 likes on an Instagram post about it.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, we've probably built and given away, I don't know, 20 bikes, just to the kids in the neighborhood. Like, I guess it doesn't sound like too many over the 8 years we've been in Richmond, but like,
that sounds really good.
We just find a kid that like is riding bikes and the bike's a piece of garbage and they're loving it. And we're like, yo, come by the shop. And then we hook them up. I mean, we make sure with their parents that they're cool with it.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've had parents call us and be like, are you sure this bike's not stolen? Why'd you give it to my kid? And like, we talked to you beforehand. Like, so.
We told you.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, I mean, I mean, you've answered everything that I got. I don't have anything left. Shannon, do you?
Nah, that's it for now. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
So appreciate this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I guess if everybody's listening or whatever, to subscribe to all of our things too. Powers, it's just Powers BMX on everything: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and
one of only 7 shops in the United States of America that specialize in BMX.
Amazing, yeah, I would say make sure to if you don't buy stuff from us, like make sure to support the core BMX shops and not the giant corporate, bike shop that looks like they're BMX and they're not. And stop buying direct when you have cool local shops.
If they do go looking for you and they find your YouTube channel, what can they be looking for? What type of stuff do you put out?
Oh, dumb stuff. No, I mean, there's a lot of dumb stuff on there, but it's all BMX stuff, and we've been trying to do a lot more museum stuff. But yeah, we were talking today about doing some Grease skit, like from the movie Grease,
right.
And trying to turn it into some BMX thing where we're drag racing and we're all slick back 50 style, you know. Yeah, we just do dumb things, and like, I don't know, people like it.
Right.
That's funny. I mean, because everybody my age and around my age will get it, you know, like, oh, that's Grease, bro.
Yeah, and then little kids will be like, what are these kids doing dressing up like this? You know, so.
So I this is my last question. Did you like the movie Rad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. It played a part. It played its huge part in BMX history.
Definitely.
I can agree with that.
A lot of people from the 80s don't like it because it's very cheesy. But I mean, who knows how many kids got into BMX after seeing that movie?
Very true. Yeah, because a lot of kids like me, we were already racing for a few years before that movie came out. So when it came out, we were like, what the hell is this, bro?
Yeah, like this is
it was the cheesiest shit I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, oh, come on. So I don't even know if I ever like watched the whole movie from beginning to end. I couldn't tell you any parts in it. I don't know the characters.
I mean, I could probably quote the whole movie. I've seen it so many times. But like, yeah, it played its part in BMX history, and yeah, who knows how many people got on bikes from it. But yeah, if you were already racing when that came out, like it was super lame. Yeah.
I just saw somebody post about it, and that's what kind of came to my head. I want to ask you. So yeah, I've been asking everybody today that rides. Oh, you see Rad? You like Rad?
Yeah, I mean, it's sick. We've showed it at here in the shop on movie nights a good handful of times. So
nice.
Cool.
All right.
So with your movie nights, is that something where you do like an inflatable movie screen?
We just hang a screen in the back room on some of the racks with the bikes on it, and just have a projector on it.
That's dope.
And we'll like order barbecue or something for whoever shows up, and
from the gas station.
Not if it's catered. No, we got one of the local barbecue spots. The dude grew up riding BMX, so like whenever we do catering, like it's from that dude.
Okay.
Yeah, I try to keep all of my money in the sport somehow as much as possible. So
right.
Like we need HVAC at the shop right now, and I'm trying to get this dude from Virginia Beach to do it because that's what his company does, and I would much rather keep my money in the sport than give it to some giant corporation.
No doubt.
All right, here's my true last question. Do you rent that space in the back?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So we just have like a flat fee to have the punk shows or whatever. And then where the shop is, behind the shop we're on a full 1 acre. So I rent out that very back half an acre to the tow yard next door.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Smart. I'm like, okay. Nice.
Very cool, man.
Well, I guess we're good. I'll let you enjoy your dinner from your Chinese food.
Yeah.
And enjoy your night
down the street.
Enjoy your night. And thank you very much.
Hopefully I didn't say anything dumb to get canceled.
Nah, I think we're good.
Nowadays, you never know, though, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Support real core BMX shops.
Right.
Yeah.
Indeed, brother.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Chad. Take care, man.
Later.